What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time. You know the drill. Two of the sharpest minds in the industry. Going to take you up to lock. We might take you through lock, give you some pitchers, give you some hitters, some home run calls, and answer your questions. All that for nothing, for free, for the cost of one thumbs up. That's all that we ask. If you're watching on YouTube, on Twitter, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. We got Derek Carty in the house. Fresh washed hair. It's beautifully coiffed. I see. You just washed it, what, an hour ago? It's so funny.
It's been maybe 2.
All right. See, I can spot it. Now that's a fresh wash. What's up, Carty? How are you?
Doing pretty well. We got kind of baseball all day today, which is always nice. So yeah, we got a little slate here. So happy to have some more baseball.
Yeah, I think we still have the morning slate ongoing because of the Cleveland. They have multiple delays in Cleveland. I think they basically just restarted it. Hopefully, we'll be able to finish it before even more rain moves in a little bit. And then we got my guy Eric as well. What's up, man? How are you?
I mean, I've been a little better. I'm a St. Louis fan, and the Cardinals are terrible and got their teeth kicked in yet again today. The Blues lost, so let's get a little bounce back here in these evening games. Let's maybe make a little DFS money to cure the soul from the fandom.
Yeah, we need to make you some money. That turns everything around. Just give you 10 grand and you'll feel a little bit better about things. Appreciate everybody watching here. Second crunch time of the day. It's a small. What do we have? Like 3-4 games? I don't know. I'm making up numbers. 4.
We only do 4 game slates. The 3 of us. Yeah, is what I've learned.
Yeah, apparently,
which is good. They know that we just bullshit too much. They're like, I can't give them more than 4 games. It's all they can handle. The good news here is that while the first slate of the day was very active weather-wise with the Cincinnati game and the Cleveland game, this slate is clean. There's no weather issues, a low chance of something in Philadelphia. So low that I regret even saying it because nothing is going to happen. It's going to be fine. And that's really all that I have to talk about. Now I get to sit back, chug water, sad to report, chug some water, and hear what you guys have to say. Who wants to start with pitcher? Who wants it?
Carty's got to go again. Because yesterday was a little easier. This one doesn't seem so easy. So I think we need Carty on this pitching slate when Justin Verlander projects for 73% ownership.
Yikes.
I mean, I'll take it because I feel like it's almost the exact same structure as we talked about yesterday, where there's 2 guys at the top that are just way better than everybody else and are going to eat up most of the ownership. It's Justin Verlander, which you don't really feel great about, but do you feel better about Bradley Lord? Because I'll tell you what, I don't. So Justin Verlander against the Rockies, not in Coors, sounds pretty good to me on this slate.
Okay. So, I assumed there was a but, and the but is Rockies not in Coors is why it's doable. Okay, so Verlander, and then?
Yusei Kikuchi, who is coming off a very rough outing, but is a decent pitcher. And is facing the Tigers, who are definitely not that good. I feel like I've seen some stuff recently about, the Tigers are legitimate. No, they're not. The Tigers are a below average offense. There's some strikeouts to be had in there. And again, alternatives are not great. So that's like the clear chalk pairing, those 2. And then it's kind of like the slate yesterday where just about everybody else is in play. I do think Bradley Lord is probably the guy that I would say is not really playable anywhere. I mean, you can, I guess, but probably shouldn't. Everyone else is pretty similar. I think you probably have a little bit more upside on like a Barrios or a Houck than you do on a guy like Kyle Freeland, but the 6K on Freeland is really nice. So it's kind of a bunch of guys are viable if you're not doing the Verlander Kikuchi thing.
Yeah. Okay. Carty did not mention my favorite pitcher on the slate. War Eagle, Casey Mize. I think he went to Auburn or so. I don't even know what the hell that means. I just do it for cheese. Eric, what are you doing as you look at the pitchers here? You need 2 on TK, 1 on FanDuel.
Yeah, it's just very difficult for my tournament brain to read Justin Verlander 73% owned and want to play that. I get it. I agree with absolutely everything that Cardi said. The Rockies are the offense that cures all pitcher warts, pretty much, outside of Coors specifically, and then you compound it with it's in San Francisco, so it's like the double whammy, right? So I get that, but I do have maybe a tick more interest. So I tagged Kikuchi. I think on like many slates, even like some slates we've had this year, Kikuchi would be, it'd be more like 60% Verlander, 55% Kikuchi or something, where I think he hasn't been that great this year, and the last outing is really dragging that down. Mm-hmm. But I think the long-term, Kikuchi form numbers, whatever you want to call it, is just so good. And like Cardi said, like, I'm definitely not scared of the Tigers. There's a lot of strikeout upside for him today. So he's actually my favorite when we factor in ownership. And then I do think Casey Mize is next up for tournaments for me. Interesting that Mize and Berrios are both 21.07% projected. That's interesting.
Specific.
It's very oddly specific, but I prefer Mize amongst those two. And frankly, I'm not dipping in to the other guys. I get it, right? I get it with just pray 6K. Kyle Freeland doesn't get blown up. Like, I get it with all of that. But I think there's actually real upside in those top three, including Justin Verlander. And if I'm going to pivot off of Verlander, I like Mize the best.
Okay, good stuff. Someone said, who's the new guy with his hat on backwards?
That's funny.
I like it. It's Eric. He's not new. He's been here forever.
I think the three of us have been at this company for a very long time, between many years, including
roughly
myself.
3 decades.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyways, he's sharp. We like him. I'm going to see more of him. Eric, you get to lead us into the bats and the stacks next. If the pitcher pool is kind of tight, what are we doing hitter-wise?
This is where, like Cardi said, where like every other pitcher is like technically playable. That's really how I feel about the bats. I'm not interested in the Rockies. I'm not interested in whoever Kikuchi is facing. So Tigers, right? I'm not interested in those offenses. I'm not particularly interested in the Angels against Casey Mize, but we could talk about it. Mike Trout is out, which is kind of a big deal. He got removed yesterday and he's not in the lineup, which is part of a reason to like Mize and also not like the Angels. But after that, like, that's when the slate actually gets fun, right? Yeah. The pitching is not so fun. That's when it gets fun. And so I think Cardi will probably get into the top bats being in that Washington and Philly game. They're littered all across the top of the projections and projected ownership. But I really think just about every other offense is definitely in play. I do like on the small slates, we hate playing bats in San Francisco, but against Kyle Freeland at like much lower ownership on a 4-gamer is a little bit more appealing for me with the Giants. So I like, even if it's like some one-off Giants bats, to make some things work. And then it's very sad because I mentioned I'm a St. Louis guy. Tanner Houck is from right down the road from me. So it's unfortunate that we have to say this, but he has been bad for like a while now, and particularly against left-handed bats. So I like a little bit of lefty bats against Houck as well in tournaments. But Washington and Philly are kind of my top stacks. But I like picking on Houck and Freeland and Taijuan Walker, or not Taijuan Walker, Berrios as well, just to hunt some home runs at some low ownership.
Okay, good stuff. We got some BVP, actually, a pretty good sample size. Duran, 9 for 18 with 3 bombs.
You didn't tell me a pretty good sample size. You didn't say it. You didn't say it because our friendship would be over. You didn't say it.
Look, usually, Cardi, to be clear, usually people are like, he's 2 for 3 with a home run. And I'm like, he's played him one freaking time. And you're like, I mean, 18 is something. I know it's not enough to be significant, but it's better than what we normally see. Come on.
It's the same. It's the same damn thing.
Cardi needs 2,000 at bats in order to buy the BVP. Campbell scratched for what it's worth. And then I wanted to give Devin a shout out in the chat. Devin says, I wanted to shout out Eric for all of his great best ball content. I love your videos.
Much appreciated, Devin. It's definitely best ball season, which is crazy. We're still here for the baseball, but yes, you can always find me over at Spike Week for nonstop drafting fantasy football teams in the beginning of May.
Okay. And are you grinding that right now? That's happening?
Oh yeah.
You're deep
It's
in those
full bore.
streets.
My just like Cardi's, from March to September is straight baseball season. May to September is fantasy football season, specifically for best ball.
I love that. I need you to talk me into doing my first ever best ball. I've never done it. By the end of I don't know, the next month or so, I need you to talk me into it. You think you can do that?
I think we can do that. We got some plenty of shows together, and we've been known to stray away from what we're supposed to be talking about. That I imagine it'll come up a time or two.
All right, I'm in. Okay, Cardi, let's talk about your favorite stacks. Did I see Philadelphia had like a 5.7 implied run total or something that was pretty tasty?
Yeah. So actually, I mean, Philly's good, but I kind of think Philly's a little overrated today.
Okay.
Their implied run total is like 5.7 or something.
Yeah.
The bat is projecting them almost a full run lower than that.
Ooh, okay,
wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for me, I think the top two are Washington on the other side of that game and Boston. Part of the issue with Philly is that they're facing the worst pitcher on the slate in Bradley Lord, and I think that's why people want to attack them. I think that's why maybe the Vegas total is where it is. But this is a guy that is kept on a very short leash. Like, he's not a real starter. He's a guy that throws 60 or 70 pitches, even when he pitches well. Like, he's not, if he throws 80, I would be very surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if he's going to be in long. I mean, obviously they can just get to him and just crush him, in the 3 innings that he's in there. But if they don't, I think this is definitely a spot where Philly could disappoint some people. And projecting as the highest owned stack on the slate, I probably have less interest in Philly than you might expect.
Interesting. Okay. And you mentioned that you prefer Washington. You prefer one that I already forgot. Anything else? Boston. Thank you. Anything else?
Yeah, it is very much like Eric said, though, where you can kind of play any team. Probably don't want to play the Rockies. Probably don't want to play the Tigers. I do think there's probably a decent one-off or two on the Rockies you can think about playing, but as a full stack, no. But the rest of it, you can kind of just play whatever you want. Outside of those 3 teams that we talked about, I think everyone else is going to be, the ownership's going to be pretty modest. So play Angels, play Jays, play Giants, whatever you want.
Okay. 2 quick notes. One, producer Steve says in that same game, the Philly high implied run total, Washington, you both like. He gets to play against Taijuan Walker. Over? We interested in some overs there?
I would almost certainly think the bat is on the under if it has Philly a full run under.
That's what I was just going to say.
All right. Okay. Don't do it. Second, and maybe more importantly, today I'm just learning, is Casey Mize' birthday. Caw-caw! War Eagle. Lock it in. Getting 10Ks. Going to deliver on the birthday narrative. Let's go around the horn. We'll talk position by position real quick, and then we'll get to some home run calls after that. Cardi, start me off a catcher, please.
All right. So catcher on a 4-game slate is always fun. And by fun, I mean, it's really, really bad.
I know you're going to say O'Hoppe. I know you're going to say O'Hoppe. Just say
today
it.
is really bad.
like really bad. O'Hoppe's the top guy, but at 4.5K, I have a hard time paying for him. Like, I don't think he's that much better than some of the guys you can get for like 3K or under 3K. I think Alejandro Kirk or Travis d'Arnaud are the ones I have the most interest in, just because they're both cheap and they're decent hitters at least. I think Hunter Goodman in tournaments as a one-off against Verlander is interesting, but yeah, catcher is really, really bad today.
Okay, Eric, any other brilliant thoughts there, or no? Just
no, but I would double down on. I do like Hunter Goodman as one-off. Against Verlander. Verlander has also struggled a little bit with right-handed power specifically. So some of that looks good. That's a great comment. And then I just wanted to mention Ruiz for Washington, that right. If we like Washington, we can toss him in our stacks.
Definitely.
Apologies to Hey, It's Me, Kevin, who says my cacaw woke up his cat. It was aggressive. I really got in there. I'm sorry to any animals or people that I woke up or disturbed with my cacaw. My bad on that. First base, Eric, what do you like there?
So yesterday was a lot more fun because I could just say, Shohei Ohtani. But Bryce Harper is the kind of top owned play, the guy that stands out. But I'm glad Cardi, is on the same page. It's certainly good for tournaments to maybe veer a little bit away from some Phillies. I'm not saying full fade them, right? Somebody's probably getting there at some point, a Philly bat, but are they the top stack? That I'm not so sure. Vlad is, I'm actually curious on Cardi's take on Vlad, because he's been one of those guys that I just haven't been playing for a very long time in DFS. Always very expensive. The name always generates some kind of ownership, and he is a good player, but this isn't, what I think everybody thought Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was going to be. So I'm kind of moving down the list a little bit. If you're not playing Kikuchi, there have been real struggles. Spencer Torkelson has been very good this year, and a former big time prospect that was terrible when he first got to the major leagues and is turning it on a little bit this year. And I'm just an insane sucker for Tristan Casas. It doesn't work out very well for me very, very frequently, but he's the epitome of home run hunting. And I'm glad Cardi likes the Red Sox. Jose Barry also is not going to be a big swing and miss guy, and that's what Tristan Casas does, is swing and miss a lot, but there's a lot of power behind it. So he's probably my favorite tournament option.
Good stuff. Cardi, your thoughts at first?
I agree. Casas is probably my favorite guy overall, even just as a straight value play, a cash play, but certainly for tournaments. I like him. I like Boston. Josh Bell for a couple hundred cheaper. I mentioned Washington's kind of my other favorite team, so I think both of them are the way to go here. You can spend up. Harper is the best guy. He's not crazy expensive, so you can certainly play some Harper, but he is going to be very, very high owned, and I think over owned. He's great, but again, I don't think he's a ton better than everyone else today, especially if he only gets a couple of at-bats against Lord. Vlad's a guy that I still believe in. He hasn't been great this year, but all of his underlying stuff, I'm still waiting on Vlad to be really, really good. And I think this is a pretty good spot for him. So if you're not going all the way down to Casas or Bell, I think Vlad is definitely a guy that I would have in my mix.
Okay. Second base, Cardi.
Once again, a Philly is the top guy by projection and by ownership, and it's Bryson Stott. But again, at least according to the bat, he's not the top by that much. The bat really doesn't see much difference between Bryson Stott and Alex Bregman or Gleyber Torres or Luis Garcia. They all project within a quarter of a point of each other. And if Stott's going to be twice the ownership of these guys, I don't know. What's the point? You really need Philly to go off tonight, I think, and they can. I mean, I've said my piece on them, but I'd be much more interested in paying a little bit more for Bregman, or playing Torres and getting some leverage off of Kikuchi's ownership, or Garcia in that Washington lineup, and then David Hamilton. If you want to save money, he's 2.5K. He's at the back of the Boston lineup, but at a kind of a weak position, you can definitely just save some money here and play him, because I like Boston tonight.
Okay. Eric, your thoughts the second?
Yeah, David Hamilton was going to be the first guy that I mentioned, which I think tells you everything you need to know about this position and this slate. But super fast, right? Could come out, swipe a couple bags. I remember, you guys probably remember, it was last year. Cardi, I'm sure, remembers. David Hamilton went on his Kyron Paris level heater for a while and was 5,300 and 15% owned in tournaments or whatever. And so that's ingrained in my brain, that heater that he went on. So there is a little bit of upside. He's not a particularly great player, but I think there's fantasy upside. And then my favorite other play is Luis Garcia. It's not just the Nats. I'm also a sucker for Luis Garcia. He's just this slightly above league average to league average hitter, but you get him in a good spot like he is in today, right? Platoon advantage, has enough power, he can hit a home run, and enough speed that he can steal a bit. It's not sexy, but there's just enough juice at a usually cheap price and not crazy ownership. So it's him and Hamilton for me.
Okay, good stuff. Let's go to third base, Eric.
Let's see. Third base, a little bit more fun. Definitely agree with the Devers ownership being the top guy. I do very much like Matt Chapman as one of those Giants that is in an awesome spot. And there's just, 4-game slate, the San Francisco factor. It's not as bad for right-handed power as it is left-handed power, but also, there's only 4 games. Like, there's not going to be that many home runs. So our opportunity cost is much less. And add Matt Chapman to my slappy list of guys I play constantly and get very disappointed. But I do like him quite a bit. I don't love much at the like lower end of ownership of third base here. So I'm kind of sticking to the top. And then every time there's like that one stack that's like mega owned, right? We go every position and the Philly is at the top. And then you get to third base and the Philly is 4th in ownership. It's like, well, that seems like a spot that the Philly actually can be a good play, right? Yeah. Might not be over-owned. So this is the spot where I do actually like the Philly and Alec Bowman. He, again, has not been great this year, and he's just kind of this like total oatmeal hitter that's not super exciting, but same thing, hit in the middle of the Phillies lineup. Maybe he's the guy that hits the home run, and it's not Harper, it's not Schwarber, and then you fill this spot with a lower owned Philly that actually hits.
Love that. Cardi seemed to be nodding in agreement as well. Cardi, your thoughts at third?
Yeah, I mean, between the low price and the low ownership on Bohm, I'm fine with him, even though I'm kind of low on Philly overall. I agree, though, that if I can, I want to be more on the high end of third base today. Devers is the best. Matt Chapman, though, is fantastic. I mean, Matt Chapman against a bad pitch to contact lefty, like, come on. And then Bregman, who I mentioned at second, I like him at third too. The cheap stuff, like you have Bohm, you have Jose Tena in the Washington lineup, you have Addison Barger, but like I really think I prefer to just get up to one of those top like 3 guys or Bohm if I can.
Okay, easy enough. Shortstop.
Trey Turner projects for the highest ownership because he's on the Phillies, and why wouldn't he? The bat likes CJ Abrams more. He's only 100 more, projects better, projects for lower ownership. Doesn't seem like much of a comparison for me. I'd much rather play CJ Abrams, I think, in just about every format. You also have Willy Adames, who's in the same spot as Chapman, similar profile. Guy who can strike out or hit home runs, facing a really bad pitch to contact lefty. The price is very reasonable. I like Adames a lot. David Hamilton, we mentioned at second, but he's viable here at short as well. And Trevor Story definitely in your Boston stacks.
Okay, Eric, your thoughts at shortstop?
Yeah, count me out on mega chalk Trey Turner. Even if I'm gonna play the Phillies, Trey Turner is like maybe to me like the worst, most overowned guy. He's just not that good anymore in my opinion. Like he's fine. I'm not saying Trey Turner is bad. That's not the point. I'm just saying the idea of Trey Turner is much greater than the current version of Trey Turner. He doesn't run as much anymore. He doesn't hit for as much power anymore. This is multiple years running now that this has happened. So we say that, and who did we do this to? Who did we just do this to? That we mushed. That
they hit a bomb,
immediately.
I'll look it up. Yeah,
immediately hit the home run. So just go ahead and put me down for a Trey Turner home run, even though I'm not going to play him in DFS. But CJ Abrams at half or less than half the ownership of Trey Turner to me seems truly bonkers. Like an actually like awesome young stud, power, speed in just as good of a matchup or pretty similar. Like he seems like a slam dunk with this ownership. I do also like Bo Bichette. I mentioned how that I'm interested in targeting him. And like if we're gonna play like a big name yet has been underwhelming for a while, shortstop, give me 4,300 Bo Bichette at 9% over 4,900 Trey Turner at 35%.
100%.
Yeah, it was Muncy, by the way.
Muncy.
Yes. we called washed, and then he hit a bomb like immediately, like as soon as the show ended. I feel like,
but we did the tout thing and we hedged and we said that he was a good play too, so we still get the credit.
We're fine. Yeah, we're good. Cardi, your thoughts at shortstop?
Already gave you them.
Yes.
Just kidding. I don't know who's up to talk. I don't know. Where am I?
We're moving on to outfield.
Who?
You got distracted by I got it. I got it. I'll do the hosting and the players.
Honestly, that's probably for the better. Let's be real.
Just go take care of that kid, Roth. Obviously, who doesn't like Kyle Schwarber? I do enjoy Kyle Schwarber against guys who don't, again, get swing and misses because he hits the ball very hard, which is always fun. But right? We're playing into a lot of ownership. I think there's ways still to play Kyle Schwarber, right? Like no one is saying absolutely don't stack the Phillies, but we like some of these other guys with ownership factored in and definitely price factored in. I think Schwarber like one off, or right, like Bohm and Schwarber or something to get, if you want to get your Phillies, I do think is okay. We didn't mention, or Cardi called it out with like Goodman as a one off against the Rockies. And I kind of said earlier, I'm not interested in the Rockies, but I actually really like Brenton Doyle today in this spot. Same thing, like very low. You don't see him on your screen, right? So he's not near the top of ownership. Verlander being the most popular pitcher, hitting leadoff. And again, it's power and speed. Verlander can struggle a little bit. Verlander doesn't get that many swings and misses anymore, and can struggle just a little bit with power. That park will help, but Doyle can hit a home run, or I mean, geez, he's put it in the gap. He's got the speed, triple, and the next thing you know, you got double-digit points at low ownership. We have to mention Duran because I don't know if you've seen the BVP. It's very good.
You're very good.
9 for 18 with 5 doubles. I've heard is
and 3 bombs.
Good. 3 bombs, man. Geez, yep. Imagine not playing him for that. But James Wood, another but a spend up. So maybe you have to forego Schwarber in a lineup like that. James Wood's like maybe my favorite play. Washington is my favorite stack. He rocks. He's like I love to nerd out. Me and Cardi can hold hands. James Wood hits the ball so hard to the opposite way. Like watch him hit a ball to the left center gap, and it's like just crushed as a young hitting lefty. Like it's so impressive. I think this dude is just going to be a stud. He's only going to keep getting better, and we're like getting discounts on what I think that this guy will be ownership wise, someday against Taiwan Walker. Like, sign me up for that one.
Yeah. Did get a question actually on those two guys. Andrew says, what's the ownership difference between Wood and Duran on DK? And it looks like we've got it up. We basically have them projected each for roughly 20%. So we're thinking they're coming in a similar spot. Cardi, your favorites in the outfield?
The bat has Duran projected at the top, which, I mean, I don't know if we've mentioned it yet, but he is 17 for 18 against this pitcher lifetime with 24 extra base hits. So that's why the bat likes him the best. Yeah, he's great. He actually just projects well because it's a good spot, and that's
good at
baseball. Not BVP.
He's
so
good at baseball.
When he does well, the BVP people can pretend that's why.
Yeah.
But I love James Wood. I love Dylan Cruz in the same lineup. I like a lot of Boston Toronto guys here. Santander and Varsho I like a lot. I think Wilyer Abreu is like not that far behind the real top guys in terms of projection, but his ownership's going to come in a lot lower. His price is too high, I think, for people to want to pay almost $5K for Wilyer Abreu, but I think that's going to make him a good tournament play. I love the Doyle call. Doyle in tournaments, I just think is fantastic as leverage off of Verlander. And yeah, that's the stuff I like.
Okay.
Can we call out Dalton Varsho? If everyone hasn't seen the Varsho fall down and catch,
that was amazing.
Which was on Duran, by the way, and Varsho is back in center, so maybe knock Duran's projection down a half a point or something because he's going to slip and fall and make an insane catch on.
No, but because Duran has the BVP, he's not going to make the catch this time.
You're right. You're right.
BVP, you forgot. But yeah, you don't get credit for that being one of the greatest catches ever because it's your fault you fell on your ass. Like, what a recovery. That was really
he walked
awesome.
it off too, like nothing happened.
Yeah,
it was
no big deal.
They finally started giggling because the teammates were laughing at him.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. All right, we're going to give the people some home run calls. That is what we do next. But before we do that, we want to make sure they're getting the best deal in the industry. The MLB DFS annual option, 425 beans. But you know what? We dropped the price of our Combo Pro to match the MLB annual package. So you get more stuff for the same price. And if you're doing it for 6 months, instead of month by month, you're actually saving 35%. So you get MLB projections, NBA content, PGA data, and more. Make sure you're signing up. Combo package, 425 big ones.
I thought you were going to move to a different currency or something.
It's tough. No, it's tough trying to come up with different names for dollars.
425 francs.
Francs, yeah.
Pesos, yeah.
Okay, what do we got? 10 minutes or so until lock. Let's do home run calls. Eric, lead it off.
I know I mentioned Brenton Doyle, but I really do like. I actually think he's like a kind of a good, just general home run bet, like from a value perspective. James Wood is for sure on that list, and I don't mean to mention all outfielders, but apparently my list is just all outfielders. I did not mention him in the outfield, and I think that was just an oversight. Who I do like for not just a home run, but Anthony Santander, I think is the price has come down a little bit. You know, the Orioles days shot his price up to the elite status, and then with a rough start in Toronto, it kind of came down, and he's still a really good hitter with a bunch of power against Houck. And again, I like the lefties against Houck, and he's a switch hitter, so we don't have to worry about the bullpen. I like him as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Cardi, your thoughts for home run calls?
High end, I like Devers the most. Love Santander. He projects for the second highest chance just overall. So mid-range, I'll take him. And then low end, I'll go Tristan Casas.
Okay, good stuff, guys. We'll answer some questions. We got about 10 minutes until lock. If the questions keep coming that long, we'll hang out. If not, we'll bounce a few minutes early as there's no weather concerns. I'm going to scroll up just a little bit. Willie B says, hey, any lineups for the Angel Tiger game? WTF? It's a long ways away.
Angels
right?
is out.
Okay.
Angels is out, but the Tigers is not. Yeah, no Trout. No Trout for the Angels lineup without Trout is sad to look at.
Yeah. Let's see if we got any questions. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, did I mention hit the thumbs up for us, hit the like button. We're trying to get roughly 1 million people watching these every day, and we're pretty far from that. But your likes and your subscribes will help get us there. So make sure you're doing it. By the way, the Detroit lineup, I guess, just dropped. Like literally just as you finished saying it hasn't yet, they dropped it. So it is just out now. Did get a couple questions in the RotoGrinders Discord. Cardi, FanDuel single entry, Vladdy Daddy or Chapman?
I mean, I like them both. Give me Chapman.
Okay. DKGPP. Let's see. Eric Bailey Ramos to finish a Giants 4-man or Dingler Malloy?
God, those catchers stink. I like the other guys. We'll go Bailey Ramos because I do like Ramos quite a bit today for the Giants. So sure, Bailey, whatever.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know who's better prepared for this. I'll give this to Eric. Favorite 3 hitters on the slate to hit a parlay of 2 total bases, I believe. Ooh. So each person, I guess, what is it? They do a 1.5 or more.
Yeah, 2 plus total bases, or if you wanted to do hits plus runs plus RBIs, which is always fun. I'm gonna cheat and do. We'll leave Brenton Doyle out because that's enough Brenton Doyle mentions for one evening. But I'm gonna stick to James Wood and Anthony Santander. Now I feel even better about it. Second highest odds to hit a home run. I'm gonna go run to bet that here in a second, and then we're gonna also cheat and stay with our nationals. CJ Abrams and Wood rock, man. Like they're just awesome, and the spot's awesome.
Okay, very good. Cardi, Paul wants to know who your sneaky stack is. Who's a sneaky stack? Sneaky stack.
I mean, sneaky today is
unnecessary.
I don't think really the word. I guess my stack hot take is that I think the Phillies are overowned, and I like Boston and Washington more.
Yeah. Okay. Duran 1 home run or 2 home runs, Cardi?
I'm thinking at least 6 or 7, right?
Yeah, I think you've seen the BVP. He's 100 for
32. It's just Matt.
97 bombs. You saw the BVP. Cardi, right back to you here. It looks like a 3v3 FanDuel GPP from our guy Bean. Torkelson, Varsho, Doyle, or Santander, Schwarbs, and Kirk. FanDuel GPP.
Was that me or Eric?
As you, Cardi. Torkelson, Varsho, Doyle versus Santander, Schwarber, and Kirk.
I think it's the second one for me. But Schwarber is obviously going to have a ton of ownership.
Yeah. Okay.
So make sure the rest of your lineup makes some sense.
Yeah. Eric, your favorite FanDuel GPP pitcher, please.
Casey Mize.
Caw. I did it quiet. I didn't want to
The cat just got back to sleep.
I did it quiet. I didn't want to wake up anybody's cat that time. Just a quiet call. DK Cash, Cardi, Bell Varsho or Casas Cruz?
It's like so close. They're both good. I guess give me Casas Cruz.
Okay. Cardi, do you mind batters versus one pitcher you're using in a DK GPP? And if so, how many would you do in a lineup?
I mean, I assume this is like for this slate specifically.
Small slate's probably the only time
yeah.
we really ever mess with this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the biggest GPP guy, so this is probably a better question for Eric, but I would think like even on a slate like this, I would think one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one is the universal answer.
Two,
there.
like
no need for
you need double-digit points from two hitters. Now start subtracting that production from the pitcher.
Yeah.
Like, you hunt a home run, right? Or the guy goes off against the bullpen. Like the needle is that you have to thread is very tight. I would keep it to one, and one's fine.
And you need them to then be solo home runs, because if there's people on base, then it's just over for your pitcher.
The grand slam, you think you're excited, and then you whoops, actually that's terrible
done.
for me.
Yes, yeah, it's tough to make that work perfectly. Yeah. Guess what? We did all the things. I may or may not have woken, hey, it's me, Kevin's cat, yet again. That's my bad, man. I think we clear on out. We got 5 minutes until lock. I got family in town. I want to go get some food, so let's do it. For Cardi and for Eric and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys. We appreciate you. We love you. We will catch you tomorrow. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. You have been crushed.